Joining us, National Minister Mark Mitchell and Labor's Willie Jackson. Good morning, guys.
Good morning, Ryan.
Good to see you both. Willie,
you too.
everyone's obviously hopeful something's going to... Do you reckon anything's going to come of this?
It's going to be fascinating, isn't it? Considering Mr. Trump, President Trump, said he'd have it all fixed up within 24 hours, didn't he? 48 hours.
He did.
It's going to be fascinating what Putin puts up. They say, we all know Trump's a businessman, so they reckon that it's going to be all about economics, and I think Putin will probably try and avoid the corridor about the Ukraine. But this is a big one for Trump. There's so many expectations, and the world is watching. I mean, it'd be great if we could get a deal. So many people suffering over there.
Yeah.
So let's see what Trump's made of.
Fingers crossed. Back home, we have in the last 24 hours had quite a serious incident in Christchurch. Minister, obviously your police hat on here. Police have shot 2 people. One of them has sadly passed away. What are your thoughts, reactions to what's happened?
Oh, look, it's just an extremely difficult and stressful situation for all of those involved. A worst case scenario for any police officer when they have to use force like that. So my heart goes out to them and their families, and of course for the family of those, the person that was injured and the woman that was killed. My condolences and thoughts go out to them also. I never ever second guess what happens in an operational situation, but full support behind our frontline police officers who unfortunately are having to deal with violent situations like this on a daily basis.
Not specific to this case, but a lot of people have asked our newsroom, how come they don't... Are police routinely armed with tasers? How come tasers aren't used in a as a first resort in a situation?
So the police have a range of different tactical options, but like I said, I never second guess what happens. None of us were there at the time. None of us know what actually happened. I do know that we've got a world-class police force with world-class training, and like I said, that is a worst-case scenario for a police officer having to take that type of action. It now goes into an IPCA investigation. We should all wait until the findings of that come out. I can tell you that this will be extremely stressful on those police officers and their families, and we're making sure that we've got proper support around them. And on the other side of course, like I said, our condolences go out to the families that were impacted.
Right, Willie, your union mates are going on strike. You've got the teachers, you've got the nurses. What do you think? Is the government being stingy with 1% a year, or are the teachers being a bit greedy with 4% a year?
Geez, that's a good question, isn't it? There's a lot of stingy ass. There's no doubt about it. They've been stingy to all the communities, and the communities are rising up. I mean, they're sick of the way they're being treated. What is it? We're talking 1%.
We're talking 1% per year.
Yeah, it's a constant attack from this government in terms of what's happening with workers' wages, with communities, with and you're seeing the response, and we're going to see thousands on the streets, and this is going to happen more and more over the next 16 months. I mean, you just need some honest and reasonable negotiations.
So would you guys give them what they want? You'd give them more than 1%?
We'd give them more than 1%, no doubt about that.
2%?
Absolutely.
3%?
I'm not that sure. We're not in negotiations. All you should know, we'd give them more than these rotten Tories at the moment, all right? Mark knows that.
Mark, 1% is less than inflation, right?
He knows, he agrees.
The problem is this is my second go-round now, second go in government, where we come into government and we come in after a Labor-led government.
Oh, you're going to blame us. Right.
Well, that has put inflation
That's
through the
right.
roof,
Okay.
put us into recession, interest rates through the roof.
Right.
Sprayed $66 billion around and got nothing to show for it.
No, just save 20,000 lives.
And we have to come in, Willie, and we have to actually clean that mess up, and that's what we're doing at the moment, because we want our kids to come back from overseas. We want Kiwis to have an opportunity, but we can't do it when you've got a Labor government that's driven us into a ditch, or the economy into a ditch, and we've got to pull it back out again.
This debate's been going all week, because you're referencing the COVID thing, you're talking about the billions that were spent as well. Isn't the problem here not how much we're spending, but how the quality of the spending? You guys did a lot of spending on a lot of things that perhaps wasn't the quality that it should have been. Do you accept that there were mistakes made with where you put the money?
Well, no, I accept you're talking generally a
I
load
don't
of...
know where the money went.
No,
That's the problem.
no, I accept that generally you're talking a load of rubbish, all right? That's what I accept. And I'm sick and tired of your anti-Labor...
Just answer the question.
No,
Where'd the money go? Show us the money,
I've just
Willie.
answered it. This COVID inquiries is a case in point. You know, with the witch hunt that's going on with you and Hoskins and every right-wing
Treasury.
commentator. Can I just say the best commentator...
People to turn
the
up.
best commentator is Thomas Coughlin from the New Zealand
Thomas
Herald.
is good.
Oh, you like Thomas? Did you read what Thomas said?
I read what
he
Thomas
said,
said last
this is an inquiry. This is all right, not a trial, and it's not a trial for Ryan and Mike, all right,
But what he also said, what
and
Thomas
Heather
also
to
said-
roll out. Hang on, let me finish. To roll out former leaders of the Labor Party, so you can get a hit. This
Well,
is a
it's not former
shameful.
leaders
What
and
about
this
Wayne
is
Mapp?
shameful.
What about Wayne Mapp? Wayne Mapp turned up and gave evidence.
Mappy's a good Mappy's a good guy.
So
What
why-
about the
why
UK?
wouldn't he- why
Hang
would
on,
you
hang
go?
on.
Listen, in the UK, they
this-
had exactly the same
is-
inquiry,
Yep.
and you had the Prime Minister
Boris
turning
Johnson.
up to it, right? So, Willie, I know you would turn up, mate. I know you'd have the guts to turn up and front
Okay.
up to it, but maybe you should have a talk with Chippy
no, I've had a
and
chat-
tell him, stop lurking around
no,
the
no.
press gallery and looking for a
Well,
camera.
I said-
Actually turn up
Yeah.
in front of the public and explain what happened.
I'm going to be
Simple
saying
way.
to Chippy, can I say congratulations, I'm really proud of you, because they all turned up and they've all given what was needed.
Turn up to the public.
No, you don't need to go to
Do
the
you
public.
think we're answerable to the public?
Here's the
We're
public.
actually answerable to
go to the public.
Here's the
That's
public
right.
I think you'll
inquiry.
regret
It was
saying that, Willie.
it was initiated by the ACT Party and the New Zealand First Party. It's a public witch hunt.
So you
it's a
only turn up-
shameful.
So hang on.
It's
It's
a
a Royal
shameful
Commission of
strategy.
Inquiry.
You
No,
only-
you.
Royal
Willie,
Commission of
Willie,
No,
Inquiry.
your mate set it
Willie,
up.
you only
Your
turn-
mate set
What
it
is
up.
so
So you
difficult
only
about turning
turn
up in front of the
only
public?
turn up to the inquiry that you guys set up.
Yeah,
That's right.
Can I be very
Right.
clear?
That's
We
right.
will not turn up to a public inquiry that's been set up by the ACT Party and New Zealand First Party, and the Prime Minister is too weak to actually manage this. He knows that this is a witch hunt. He knows what Labor's done, saving 20,000 lives. I'm so proud of what we did, and I'm proud that they showed up and gave evidence.
Well, that's
and
not what
all
your leader
the
said.
evidence was necessary. No, the leader.
Your
already-
leader said he
the-
wasn't
the-
turning up because Denton's
no,
advisors told him
oh,
not to do it.
there's a few reasons,
Yeah.
but
We're moving on.
you guys have
We're
got to
moving
stop.
on.
You've got to stop the witch hunt and back Thomas Coughlin.
Today,
Well, like I said, Willie would
Today, we're
you'd
talking
turn up,
books.
right? You would
We're
turn
moving
up.
Shush
wouldn't
up.
you?
We're moving on. So the Tadao books has been another big story this week in the headlines, of course, and a lot of the framing of it has been that this is a racist move by Education Minister Erica Stanford. Willie, I am going to ask you what you think about it, but Mark, is there any reasonable reason or justification for taking away a couple of Tadao words from a kid's book?
Well, I think number one, Erica Stanford and her team are just doing an outstanding job in education to make sure that our kids can compete globally and actually get a meaningful education, right? And that's what parents expect as well. From what I understand is that the focus in that first year is on English. And then Te Reo is introduced, but they want that solid base in English. And I think that's a common sense and practical approach,
Right.
and I think most people would agree with it.
Willie, we're talking about 5 and 6 year old kids here, right? So the argument is that we want them to learn Tadao as an official language. Kids should be learning it, absolutely, as is English, but that you want to teach them the languages separately because there's different vowel sounds. So you want to teach them English, for 1 hour, and then you might do Tadao for half an hour or whatever. Can you see that rationale?
No, I think she's talking a load of rubbish. Now, I know she's been your darling, the darling of the media for the last week or so, and they're trying to create
you get out of bed on the wrong side this
they're trying to create
like darling.
but like you're trying to paint her as a darling of the, this could be the future Prime Minister. This is one of the worst things that's ever happened in terms of Te Reo Māori and all that. See, I looked at it and I rang every Māori top academic that I knew. No one knows what the hell she is talking about, and you got to ask the question, who's advising the minister with this sort of rubbish? This is stuff that we've been on for many, many years. I spoke, I'm no teacher or academic, but I spoke Māori only to my two of my kids for the first 10, 11 years of their life, because they said that's the best time to hit them. And so I'm asking the question today: who's advising the minister with this sort of rubbish?
Well, you can't call JT, all the education advisors in New Zealand. You can't refer to JT as
no,
that.
seriously.
But
Seriously, if you go to the academics, tell me which academic apart from her advisor, who's her advisor?
No, I agree with you. I've been reading that from the academics too. But if you go overseas, right, plenty of countries teach kids how to walk and chew gum at the same time.
Right.
Multiple languages.
Multiple languages.
But the question is,
languages.
Yes, but
But
the question
Willie,
is, do they
hit on
do
it, and I'll
it
tell you.
separately? Do they do
No,
it
they don't. And you know and I know there's something dark about this. It doesn't make any sense, but it goes in line with this government's agenda in terms of attacking the language.
So Willie hit
constantly.
on it. You actually,
who's the advisor?
You hit on the point perfectly, right? Is that obviously a decision has been made. This is not my portfolio, it's Erica's.
Oh, that's clear as
the
hell.
experts have decided that we're going to focus on English in that first year. We're going to give them a solid base. I think that's pragmatic. I think it's good common sense. If, in your case, Willie, parents feel very strongly about introducing Te Reo in that first year, they can do that. There is nothing stopping them from doing that.
Right.
Quite simply, the schools
Shocking
are going to
minister.
focus
Shocking
on
minister.
English.
Where is she today?
Very quick. Well, that is a good question.
right.
Where is she?
Yeah.
Well, she's probably busy
Hiding.
around visiting schools.
Hey, very quickly, Netanyahu, we had Luxon, the Prime Minister, come out yesterday and say that Netanyahu's lost the plot. We'd love to know what Winston thinks about those comments. Do you know?
Well, so I don't speak for Winston, but we've got an outstanding foreign minister, and I'm very careful about not moving into foreign policy areas. That's his job and the Prime Minister's job. The point the Prime Minister is quite simply making is we can all see the humanitarian disaster unfolding now. I've been very clear about this. We saw an absolute atrocity and provocation on the 7th of October by Hamas against Israel. And Israel, no one should disagree that they have every right to respond to that. And we've been very clear as the New Zealand government. In fact, the Prime Minister was one of the first ones to move and designate Hamas as a terrorist group. But we see the
humanitarian... designated years ago as a terrorist group.
New Zealand designated Hamas as a terrorist group. He has been very clear about our position. He's been very clear.
Anyway, well done, Prime Minister. Keep it up.
You like that. All right. We'll leave it there, guys.